I don't know why, but today I felt like we would start from bare as opposed to me introing it with full glam. That's usually to make sure that you stick around, because I know this is a bit of a jump scare to start off a video with, but just trust the process.
We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We are going to be doing a little get ready with me for a Christmas party, so let's just get glam because I don't have much time. Okay, so today we're going to start off with Jaclyn Morphe Divine Neutrals palette. I absolutely love this palette, especially for like the Christmas party season. You've got all your neutrals, you've got some lovely gold shades, and I'm also going to be dipping into this P. Louise individual palette that I have, mainly these shades here. So we're going to dip between the both of them. I'm very excited. I feel like I haven't played with eyeshadow in a very long time, and I feel like every time I say that is every time I do my eyeshadow. Okay, I'm gonna start off with a darker shade today. I'm gonna go in with the shade Boo Bear, which is this brown here. I don't want to go too dark for the Christmas look because I feel like the moment is meant to be what you're wearing. I suppose you can make your makeup your statement if you really wanted it, but I just want to start with this shade just on the outer corner. I'm just going to start adding this and blending as I go, just really building up that pigment, making sure it's not patchy. And by the way, I've prepped my eyes with the NARS Complete Concealer in the shade Vanilla Light 2, just so I have a bit of coverage on my eyes as well. I feel like Christmas on like the party season is genuinely just the best time to like go ham with your eyeshadow. Like, I'm all for clean girl aesthetic, but when it comes to Christmas and the party season, get out the glitters, get out the smoky eyes. Like, I feel like it is the only right way to do the Christmas season. Now this is gonna look crazy at first, and it really is gonna be like a trust the process type of eye look. Okay, I'm gonna move on to a less dense blending brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade that's next to it, this one here, which is the shade Booked. I'm just gonna start to blend out the shade that we've just put in, and I'm really softly blending it out as well. I'm not doing anything too dramatic, too harsh. I really want to keep this nice and soft, and I'm going to blend it in a little bit further than I did the first shade, and I'm going to blend right past onto my cheek, just so when I end up cutting this off that it's going to look super blended on the outer corner. Like I said, don't worry if it starts to look messy or uneven in the beginning, because we will keep going back in with each shadow. I'm going to go in with my bronzer shade, which is going to be MAC Dark, and I'm just going to blend this right into my inner corner like so, and then blend out the top of that middle shade that we used, and this is just going to really blend out the edges of that. Now we're going to go back down the line, and I'm going to go in with this shade Booked and reinforce that shade in right in the crease and only to halfway. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to go back in with our darkest shade, which was Boo Bear. Now they do have an even darker one here, but I'm going to use that as liner. We're just going to go back in and reinforce that Boo Bear shade just to keep the depth of that outer corner. And then without any extra product, I'm now just going to flick between the other brushes just to make sure that is blended really well. Now that that's done, I'm going to now cut my lid with some concealer so that the glitters have something to stick on. So I'm going to go back in with my NARS Pot Concealer, and I'm just going to cut my eye till about halfway. Another trick, if you don't know how far up to go, put a load on like your lid here, look up, and it will stamp where the eyeshadow is going to look. So now that they're pretty much 50-50, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the glitter that I want. I don't know, I feel like this might be a bit too dark. It's just not my vibe. However, I've got these stunning ones from P. Louise. I'm really liking the shade of this. It's the shade Golden Hour. I don't know if she actually sells it, but it's like, if I take it out, it's a single. I don't know if she sells these singles. I must have a look. How stunning is that? I feel like I have to put that on my lid. Like, I feel like there's no option. Now usually I would use my fingers for this, but because my eyeball is such a small area, I am going to use a brush, and it should hopefully stick with the concealer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the opposite side of the brush that I just used. I'm going to take that Golden Hour shade, and I'm going to start pressing it on. I actually think I might have to go with my finger. I feel like it might be the only way, I'm gonna go with my finger, and where the concealer was placed is exactly where I'm putting this. How stunning is that? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back in with the middle brush that we had, and I'm going to go back into the shade Booked, and I'm going to just go in between the glitter on that outer corner shade and just blend this right there, just so the glitter actually does blend into the shadow itself and that it's not like a harsh line. And then if I feel like I've lost a bit of the shade Boo Bear, I'm just going to go back in and reinforce it just a tiny bit, just to make sure that the depth is still there. Now we're going to do a bit of liner, and we're going to go with the shade Cinnamon Roll. It's a very dark brown, and we're just going to press this against the lash line. And what this will do is not only will it deepen up the lash line and make it look really like sultry, it's also going to blend in our lashes when we add them. Now you could do a wing if you want. I'm personally not going to do a wing just because I don't think you'll see it with this eye look anyways because of how dark our outer corner is. So I'm just going to stamp it right along my lash line like so, and as you can see it's just deepen that up a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a cotton pad and I'm just going to wipe the edges of this. I'm just following my bottom lash line and just wiping it like that, taking a step back and seeing if they're even. And then once I'm happy with that, we now move on to skin. Okay, I like to do lashes and all at the end, but I feel like I need to bronze up my chest a bit because it's not glittery enough. The bronzer that I'm going to go in with, this is the Bellamy Anti-Luxury Tan Bronzing Powder. It's just super glittery. I want glitter. I want to look like a fucking fairy threw up on me. Like, I want shimmer and glitter and all things nice. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. She's shining. For my base, of course, I want this to stay on all night. So we're going to go in with a gripping primer. I'm going to use the Milk Hydro Grip Gripping Primer. Not only is this going to grip my makeup onto my skin, but it is also going to hydrate my skin. Because when you're wearing as thick of makeup as I'm about to, not even thick, just super full coverage, it can dry out your skin quite a bit, and that is not something we want. So I'm really just working this into my skin, making sure I'm getting every point of my face. No matter where the makeup goes, it's not going to be off. I would usually use an illuminator now underneath my makeup. However, because I want this to be full coverage, full glam, and I want it to last, I don't want to put too many products on top of each other. So we're just going to go straight in with foundation and we'll deal with the glow later. So I'm going to use the Hourglass Vanish Stick, and this is in the shade Golden. I absolutely love this for when I'm doing my like full coverage looks. And then I'm also going to do a little bit of my NARS Light Reflection Foundation just so I can get the glow that I want. We're going to just stamp it onto my skin. I think when it comes to Christmas parties and Christmas glam, full coverage is personally the way for me. I really do love this Hourglass Vanish Stick. I know it's expensive, but I genuinely think it was worth the investment because my usual foundations, I don't tend to go for like a super full coverage. I tend to go for like a medium coverage. So when I am wanting that super full coverage, I just have that one dedicated foundation that helps me achieve that, which is this. I absolutely love it. I think it looks so good in photos. The finish is really nice. It's super creamy. It's got a little bit of a matte texture, hence why I've used the NARS one. Like I said, it was for the glow. I feel like even if you just like do the right products on top of the Hourglass foundation, you can get that glow. Or if you do products underneath, like the Iconic London, where is it, Radiance Booster, Charlotte Tilbury, Elf Halo Glow, like any of those, you will 100% get this stick to look less matte. But I absolutely love her. She is unbelievable for full coverage, and I do think she's definitely worth the investment if you're looking for just that one full coverage product, because look at that, I literally look airbrushed. Okay, moving on to cream bronzer. I'm going to be using the Pink Honey Bronzing Face Frosting in the shade Fudge Glaze. I like to do cream bronzer before I do my concealer, just in case I make any mistakes. I can clean it up with my concealer. So I'm just pressing this into my skin with my Refy Duo brush. I absolutely love this brush. So I'm just placing this on my forehead, and on my cheekbones, and I'm going in quite heavy handed with this because I have a full coverage foundation underneath, so you're not really going to see this unless I like load the product on. And I'm just keeping it quite high up on my cheekbones, and then once the product is placed I will then blend it down. Now usually I wouldn't cream contour my nose with a special brush, but it is a Christmas party, so I want to be looking snatched for all them photos, so I'm just going to go in with kind of a fluffy brush and really structure and contour my nose, and I can blend it down here because my concealer will cover it up. Okay, moving on to concealer. I could go back in with my NARS one, but I think it'll actually be too light for my under eyes, so I'm going to go in with my Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer in the shade Coconut Flakes 2.7N. This will match the Hourglass concealer really well because it is full coverage and it's a bit more matte, and I'm just using this to kind of like brighten up certain areas where I need it. And then I'm going to start off blending it with a brush just to keep that coverage, and also so I have more control of like where it's going. So I'm just pressing it in, and what I really like about this concealer is even though it has a bit more of a matte finish, it's still super creamy, so it's easy to blend, because sometimes you can get matte products and they end up just being so hard to blend and really drying. Okay, I'm just going in with my beauty blender and just taking it over the concealer just to make sure that's all blended in, and also to pick up any excess product. Now I need a bit of colour into my face. Even though I have bronzer on, I kind of still look a bit dead, so I'm going to go in with blush. Now I would go in with my Refi blush because it's a bit more pinky, it's a bit more Christmassy. However, this again has more coverage, so I'm going to go in with my tried and true Nude Sticks Nudies All Over Face Colour in the shade In the Nude. If I could rave on about one blush for the rest of my life, it would literally be this. I mean, if you watch my channel, it's literally probably the only blush that I talk about. I love it so much, and I'm just taking it on a dense brush straight from this. I'm pressing it into my skin, making sure that I don't go too far down, and I'm keeping it quite high on my cheekbone that allows like the bronzer to show underneath, but that it still makes my face look lifted. Now I'm going to go in with powder. Of course I'm going to use my Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder. This powder is the best powder in the world, full stop, but it's also the best powder if you are looking for a flawless base. It really sets your makeup, and as well as that, it makes you look absolutely filtered. Like, it is a product that I will literally use till the day I die at this point, because if Huda Beauty ever discontinue this or reformulate it, I hate when brands do that. Do you ever like have a favorite makeup product, the brand reformulates it, and then it just ends up being shit? No offense. That has happened so many times to so many people's favorite makeup products. I don't think there's been anything that I've ever used that like has been reformulated, but I know there was like that Givenchy powder got reformulated, and now it's like people's like most hated product. Why do brands do that? Like, they think that they're gonna make a better product. I'm like, don't fix something if it doesn't need to be fixed, you know? Anyways, I'm absolutely beating my face here with powder. As you can see, I've made it all matte again, and that is because we're gonna add in the glow on our cheeks and not anywhere else, so you can still see the glow coming through. So now that my cheeks are baking, I'm gonna go back in with the eyes. I want to finish off the eyes now, get them all done. So I'm gonna head back into our palette, and I'm gonna take the shade Boo Bear, which is our darkest one, and just really pencil it really close to my eyes and keep it on the outer corner as much as possible, like so. And I'm literally just stamping that there because I now want to go in with a slightly smaller, fluffier brush, and I'm going to go in with this shade Booked, which was the middle shade that we used, and I'm going to start to blend this out and start to really smoke out that lower lash line. Okay, I want to brighten up this inner corner. I'm not really feeling how pale and dull she's looking, so I'm going to go back into my P. Louise palette. I'm going to take this shade here, it's just a white, and it's called Drama. With Drama, I'm just going to take it on a fluffy brush and just put it on the inner part of my eye, just to brighten that up, because I feel like the inner part of the eye has gotten a bit lost, and I just want her to wake up. White is great at just brightening the eye without adding glitter, because sometimes I find glitter can congeal with like your watery eye. Now we're going to move on to bronzer. I'm going to use my MAC Give Me Sun. It's what we use in the eyes. If I'm ever using a bronzer on my eyes, I always make sure it's going to be the bronzer that is on my face. Otherwise, sometimes it can look a bit mismatched. And that goes for any type of eye look that I'm doing, whether it's dramatic like this or whether it's literally just bronzer in the crease. And then I'm going to go in with this big fluffy brush and just reinforce my nose contour. Now blush. We need a heavy blush. With blush, I feel like I need to layer my blushes to really make them pop. So I'm going to go in with MAC Melba. She's an OG, she's a fave, and I'm actually going to go in quite heavy handed with this and really pop her on my cheeks. And then for a bit of a glow, I'm going to take MAC Warm Soul, which, like I said, is how we're going to bring back in the glow, is on our cheek products. I'm going to whisk her around and add her kind of up a bit higher. That is really on my cheekbone. And now I'm going to wipe away my bake and I'm going to drench my face in setting spray. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible 3 Seconds Set Mist. I actually prefer this over my Charlotte Tilbury at the moment, so I'm going to go with her. This is just going to melt all my makeup products together and obviously set my face all day. Okay, off camera now, I'm going to do my mascara and lashes. I might even go for lashes. I feel like I need to go for lashes, but we'll see, and then we'll come back and do lips. Guys, the lashes are really testing me, so we're avoiding lashes today. So we're going to move on to lips now. Usually I would use my Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude, but we're actually going to go in with something a bit different. We're going to go in with, this is the MAC Lip Pencil in Oak. I'm going to line our lips with this. Overline, line, whatever you want. And now that my lips are lined with this, I'm going to go in with MAC lipstick, and this is in the shade Yacht, like nude, but I really like this color. And I'm just going to place this in the center. Keep the lips very neutral because the eyes are doing all the work. And there we go. So guys, this is the final makeup look. I really hope you guys enjoyed getting ready with me for my Christmas party. Please let me know if you have any Christmas parties coming up, and please let me know what makeup look you're kind of going for. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.